Welcome back with warm regards. We are in the very end session of this course. So far, you learnt many concepts about insurance. Students, you may know that over the past decade, India's rapid rate of economic growth has been one of the most significant developments in the global economy. This growth equipped India to exploit its economic potential and sustainability raise the standard of living of its people. A well developed and evolved insurance sector is a boon for economic development as it provides long term funds for infrastructure development and concurrently strengthens the risk taking ability of the country. So that the importance of insurance is increasing day by day. That is the reason for having this course. Students, shall we have a recap? And so far we discussed. We started with the risk. What is risk? The term risk is a psychological and a relative term. It means uncertainty of losses. In other words, one does not know and predict as to when and how much loss be caused by some adverse future event. Students, in a day from home to college, then college to home, how many unexpected events you are facing? That unpredictable events may be called uncertainties, but they are all not risk. When these uncertainty events leads to loss, then it is known as risk. The uncertainty of loss is the basic feature of risk. So, risk is an objectified uncertainty regarding the occurrence of an undesirable event. Various causes of risk are geographical changes, seasonal changes, natural calamities, human forces, government policy and other forces are responsible for risk. How to face risks or how can we handle risk in a better way? Now, we will see the methods of treating of risk. First, we have to avoid the risk, that is avoidance of risk, risk reduction or prevention, assumption of risk, transfer of risk and insurance. Risk which cannot be avoided, prevented, reduced to a larger extent may be transferred from one party to the other party. The basic objective of insurance is to transfer the risk of a person to the insurance company, which can easily spread it over a large number of persons ensuring similar risk. As such, for handling risk which involve large financial losses or which are dangerous and uncontrollable by any single person, insurance is a means of shifting such risks. Students, you know well these risks cannot be eliminated altogether, but can be reduced by taking certain precautionary measures. So, there is a need for a device or machinery or an institution to provide necessary help to them. Such a device is known as insurance. Do you know the meaning of insurance? Insurance is an arrangement. The risk cannot be eliminated altogether, but can be reduced by taking certain precautionary measure. People facing common risks come together and make their small contributions to the common fund. When risk occurs, the loss is made good out of the common fund. Next, we will see features of insurance. Insurance is a contract, consideration, cooperative device, protection from financial risk, certainty and contingency, and insurance is not a gambling and insurance is not a charity. Shall we recap the functions? The major functions are provides certainty, it distributes risks, it provides security, it provides capital, it provides efficiency, it helps in judging the viability of major projects and insurance helps in loss reduction. Then we saw kinds of risk insurance. Broadly speaking, there are two main branches of insurance in our country, that is life insurance and general insurance. The general insurance is namely fire insurance, marine insurance, health insurance, motor insurance and miscellaneous insurance. What do you mean by the life insurance? Life insurance is a contract whereby the insured promises to pay a uniform rate of premium at fixed intervals of time against which the insurer agrees to pay a fixed amount on the happening of the event, which may be the death of the assured or the expiry of certain number of years. Students, do you remember the requirements of a contract of life insurance? The essential elements that are required for creation of a valid contract such as offer and acceptance, competence of the parties to contract, free consent of the parties, legal object and lawful consideration is applicable to life insurance contract too. In addition to these, the life insurance contract should be based on two important principles, that is utmost good faith and insurable interest. Apart from this, other principles are principle of causa proxima, principle of warranty. You know very well, good faith is an abstract and comprehensive term that encompasses a sincere belief or motive without any intention to defraud others. It is very essential that both the parties display utmost good faith in each other. This principle of disclosing all material facts is called ubrina fide and is unique to the contract of life assurance. In the absence of utmost good faith, the contract will be voidable at the option of the person who has suffered loss due to non-disclosure of any fact. Then, insurable interest. The insured at the time of taking insurance must have insurable interest on the life to be insured if the policy is to be valid. Then we discussed on life insurance policies based on duration of policy, that is time period of the policy, mode of payment of premium, that is monthly, quarterly, half yearly, annual premium payments. Then with or without participation in profit, that is the policy holders are entitled or not entitled to share the profits. Then method of payment of claim amounts, etc. Students, the insurance policy is structured on certain conditions that identifies general requirements of an insured and the insurer on matters such as loss reporting and settlement, cancellation and non-renewal. Life policy conditions are part of the life insurance contracts. If the conditions are not fulfilled, the benefits are either not payable subject to some restrictions. So, the policy holders must aware on those policy conditions. Then we saw the settlement of claims in life policies. The claims can be simply categorized as maturity claims and death claims. Certain features are common to all life insurance claims. Let us see what are they. Policy must be in force at the time of claim. Insured must be covered by the policy. Nothing was outstanding to the insurer at the time of claim. The claim is covered by the policy. To make the settlement of the maturity claim on time, the insurer gets in touch with the concerned policyholder about 2 months in advance, sending him the discharge voucher and requesting him to return the same duly stamped, signed and witnessed along with the policy document for cancellation, proof of age if age is already not admitted, if there is an assignment executed on a separate stamped paper, the document of assignment. After receipt of the completed and stamped discharge voucher from the concerned policyholder along with the policy document, claim amount will be paid by account payee or crossed and or ordered check. The actual procedure involved in settlement of death claims are intimation of death, then provide proof of death, next confidential report by the agent, then submit proof of age and then submit proof of the title along with policy document, deed of assignment if any, certificate of the employer if deceased is employed, discharge form duly executed with witness. These are the important aspects regarding the life insurance. Then we discussed on general insurance. The growth of general insurance is associated with the growth of trade, commerce and industry. It appears simultaneously with the existence of human society. Even at times when there were no financial instruments, insurance prevailed in the form of mutual help, that is, people helped each other. The year 1991 marked as the beginning of economic reforms in India. The effect of the economic reforms was felt on the financial sector and the insurance industry was no exemption. On the basis of the recommendations of the Malhotra committee, various changes have been introduced in the insurance sector. Then we discussed about fire insurance. It has gained tremendous importance in the world of modern business. It is a device to compensate the insured for the loss caused by fire. A fire insurance is an agreement between the insurer and the insured under which the insurer agrees to indemnify the loss caused by fire to the insured in consideration of certain payment called premium. So, what are the importance of fire insurance? As a source of minimizing losses, decreases in probabilities of fire losses, increase in production of fireproof materials, decrease in social loss of fire, asset valuation, loss preventing efforts and advice by the insurer helpful in business progress, credit facility and distribution of risk. Let us make a recap and fundamental principles of fire insurance. The most important principle is insurable interest. In fire insurance, the insurable interest must be present both at the time of insurance and at the time of loss. In case of goods, insurable interest arises on account of ownership, possession and contract. Then principle of utmost good faith. The insured and the insurer should show the utmost good faith towards each other in regard to the contract. Then principle of indemnity. Another important principle in case of the insurance of property like fire insurance is that of indemnity. The insurer undertakes to compensate the insured for the loss caused to him by the damage or a destruction of the property insured. The compensation payable and the losses suffered are to be measured in terms of money. It should be noted that the principle of indemnity is not applicable to life insurance because a contract of life insurance is not based on the principle of compensation. The next principle is subrogation. The doctrine of subrogation in a corollary to the principle of indemnity. The term subrogation means the right of one person to stand in the place of another. Under this principle, the insurer, after paying compensation, has got right to take away the damaged property which has some value from the insured, as the latter should not be compensated twice for the same loss. The next principle is contribution. The principle of contribution applies where there is more than one policy covering the same subject matter, that is, each co-insurer has to contribute the loss ratably to the insured. Then causa proxima. Causa proxima means the insurer should try to ascertain the nearest cause of damage to the property which is the subject matter of insurance while paying the claim. These are all the very fundamental principles of fire insurance. There are different number of fire insurance policies to suit different interests to policy holders for different subject matters. The procedure followed while claiming the compensation of fire losses are receipt of the claim intimation, entering it in the claim register, form, claim survey, discharge voucher and recording. Then we saw marine insurance. Generally, the goods available in plenty in some countries are exported to other countries where they are needed badly to earn foreign exchange. When they are sent by ships, the ships may have to face some risk due to marine perils such as storm, collision of one ship against another, rocks, etc., burning and sinking of the ship, willful destruction of the ship and cargo by the master of the ship or by the crew members, pirates, rovers, thieves, captures, seizures, restraints and detainments of princes and people, jettisons, etc. In order to cover loss of damage to vessels or to cargo or the passengers or the freight during transportation on the high seas, a special insurance has been devised which is popularly known as marine insurance. It is a very oldest branch of insurance. It is known to have been practiced for over 800 years ago. Now, shall we look into the subject matter of marine insurance? Subject matter which is anything assume risk are included in the marine insurance, which are categorized as cargo insurance. The insurance which is related for the safety of the goods is known as cargo insurance. Then hull insurance. Next, hull insurance. In hull insurance, the ship is insured against the perils of the sea such as collision against a rock, storm, sinking or burning of the ship. Next, freight insurance. The shipping company may insure the freight to be received, which is known as freight insurance. Then we discussed on marine losses. Marine insurance losses can be broadly divided into total loss and partial loss. When the subject matter of the insured material is completely destroyed or lost, it is known as total loss. When the subject matter of the kind insured is partially destroyed or damaged or lost, it will be cause of partial loss. Health, an important word in the life of every individual. When we have sound health, we can achieve any greatness in life. Yes, of course. We are going to recap about health insurance. Health insurance is an insurance that covers the whole or a part of the risk of a person incurring medical expenses, spreading the risk over a large number of persons. Reasons for buying the health insurance. There are numerous reasons to buy health insurance. A few of them are listed. To pay the medical treatment expenses in case of hospitalization due to any disease or accident. To limit their out of pocket cost, protects their assets and safeguard their future earnings. With cashless hospitalization, one just need to show the identity card and rest of everything is taken care by the hospital staff. Insurance companies offer 24 hours helpline which can help you to arrange for ambulance, get information about nearest hospitals, best doctors and so on. In case of critical illness, the cost of treatment may be very high and it is not always possible to meet the expenses from our own means. We made some familiarity with some concepts of health insurance. First of all, know about underwriting. Underwriting is the process of assessing the risk appropriately and deciding the terms on which the insurance cover is to be granted. Thus, it is a process of risk selection and risk pricing. Then, third party administrators. TPAs are licensed by IRDA, which undertakes the implementation and administration of health insurance schemes. It acts as a nodal agency between the insurance companies, insured member and the hospitals for rendering the right service at right time to the right person at a right price. The advent of TPAs is expected to play an important role in health insurance market to ensure better service to policyholders and safeguard the interest of insured members. Let us see the major roles of TPA. Enrollment and issuance of member card, claimless management, 24 hours call center services for information, pre-authorization and organizing cashless treatment. Then we discussed about claim process in health insurance. A claim may be serviced either by the insurance company itself or through the services of a third party administrator authorized by the insurance company. The general process and supporting documents for a claim under fixed benefit product or critical illness or daily cash product etc. would be quite similar except for the fact that such products may not come with cashless facility. The claim could be a cashless claim and a reimbursement claim. Claim process consists of few steps. First, intimation. The customer could inform the company that he is planning to avail a hospitalization, or the intimation would be made after the hospitalization has taken place, especially in case of emergency admission to a hospital. Then registration. Registration of a claim is the process of entering the claim in the system. Then verification of documents. Once a claim is registered, the next step is to check for the receipt of all required documents for processing. Then capturing the billing information. Typical health insurance policies provide for indemnifying the expenses incurred in the treatment with specific limits under various heads. Then coding of claims. The most important code set used is the World Health Organization developed International Classification of Diseases codes. Next we discussed on motor insurance. What is the motor insurance? Motor insurance gives protection to the vehicle owner against damages to his or her vehicle and pays for any third party liability determined as per the law against the owner of the vehicle. The insurance of motor vehicles against damage is not made compulsory, but the insurance of third party liability arising out of the use of motor vehicles in public places is made compulsory. No motor vehicle can play in a public place without such insurance. What motor insurance covers? The damages to the vehicle due to the perils are usually covered under the motor insurance policy. The various perils are fire, explosion, self-ignition, lightning, burglary, housebreaking, theft, riot and strike, earthquake, flood, storm, cyclone, hurricane, tempest, hailstorm, forest fires, accidental external means, malicious act, terrorism acts while in transit by rail or road or inland waterways, lift, elevator or air, landslide or lockside. What motor insurance excludes? Some contingencies are usually excluded under the motor insurance policy. Not having a valid driver license, under influence of intoxicating liquor or drugs, accident taking place beyond geographical limits while vehicle is used for unlawful purposes, the electrical mechanical breakdowns. These are all the important concepts of the motor insurance. In general insurance, the next classification is of miscellaneous insurance. First we saw business insurance groups, and it covers burglary insurance, shopkeepers insurance, jewelers block insurance, money insurance, fidelity guarantee insurance, neon sign insurance, duty insurance and other personal package insurances. In the next group of miscellaneous, it covers industrial insurance, and it includes electronic equipments insurance, boilers and pressure plant insurance, machinery breakdown insurance, erection all risk insurance, contractors all risk insurance and machinery loss profit policy. In the next group is engineering insurance, and it covers advance loss of profits policy and marine cum erection policy. And the next group is covered with rural insurance, and it covers cattle insurance, poultry insurance, HUD insurance, Kisan agricultural pump set insurance, plantation insurance or horticulture insurance, sericulture insurance, honeybee insurance, crop insurance and sports insurance. Then we covered with reinsurance. Reinsurance is a contract between the two insurers, that is an original insurer who is called the direct insurer and the other insurer who is called reinsurer. Thus, reinsurance is the insurance of insurance. Reinsurance is the transfer of a part of the risk by the insurer to other insurer. It is an arrangement between two insurance companies by way of which the original insurance company or insurer who has insured the risk insures a part of that risk against with other insurance company in order to reduce his own liability. Reinsurance is done to reduce the own liability and a transfer of risk and liability to other insurer. The principles of insurers are applicable on reinsurance also. And next, annuity. Annuity is the payment of amounts periodically paid during the lifetime of the annuity holder in consideration of the payment of premium to the insurer. In this type of contract, a fixed sum of money is paid to a person annually as income during his lifetime. Annuity is unlike to insurance contract, but both are arrangements of insurance. Insurance companies also sell annuities in addition to life insurance plan. The annuities can be classified into four major categories according to number of lives covered, according to method of payment of premium, according to commencement of income and according to disposition of proceeds. Then we saw why to surrender the policy. When the person who is assured is unable to pay his premium within allowable time, his life policy lapses. If he is unable to revive his policy within a stipulated time, he can surrender his policy and can get cash surrender value. The assured does not get back the full amount of the premiums paid by him over the number of years. In return, he gets a certain proportion of the amount already paid by way of premium. The amount paid by the insurer after few deductions to the insured is called surrender value. It will be a real rectification for the policyholder. The surrender value is paid to the policyholder as cash surrender value, reduced paid up insurance, purchase of annuity, extension of term of insurance and automatic premium loan. Then Redressal of grievances is one of the key components of IRDAI's efforts in the protection of interest of the proposers and policyholders. Shall we recap some important aspects in redressal of grievances? What do you mean by a grievances? Grievance means written expression of dissatisfaction by a complainant with the insurer, distribution channels, intermediaries, insurance intermediaries or other regulated entities about an action or lack of action about the standard of service or deficiency of service of such insurer, intermediaries, insurance intermediaries or other regulator entities, and it includes communication in the form of electronic mail or other electronic scripts also. An insurance company is required to resolve a grievance within 2 weeks of its receipt. If a customer is unhappy with an insurance company or an intermediary associated with the company, he should approach the grievance redressal officer of the company first and give the complaint. Complaint is to be given in writing along with the necessary supporting documents. What is the objective of the insurance ombudsman rules? The objective of the rules is to resolve all complaints of all personal lines of insurance, group insurance policies, policies issued to sole proprietorship and micro enterprises on the part of the insurance companies and their agents and intermediaries in a cost effective and impartial manner. What will be the award? If a settlement by recommendation does not work, the ombudsman will pass an award within 3 months of receiving all the requirements from the complainant and which will be binding on the insurance company. Students, you know very well of marketing play a very important role in order to survive in the market and win over the confidence of the general public. The life insurance companies and the general insurance companies are required to adopt some effective marketing strategies with regard to product, pricing, distribution, promotion and customer service management. An insurance product cannot compare with other insurance investment schemes for the simple reason that it offers financial protection from risks, something that is missing in non-insurance products. Insurance is a unique investment avenue that delivers sound returns in addition to protection. Designed to safeguard against losses suffered due to any unforeseen events, insurance provides the investor with unique sense of security that no other form of investment provides. Shall we have a glance on the Indian insurance market? An overview of the Indian insurance market shows at the end of March 2019, there are 70 insurers operating in India, out of which 24 are life insurers, 27 are general insurers and 7 are the standalone health insurers and 12 are reinsurers including foreign reinsurance branches and Lloyd's India. Of the 70 insurers presently in operation, 8 are in the public sector and the remaining 62 are in the private sector. The market share of the private insurers is new business premium was 33.80% in 2018-19. The same for LIC was 66.20%. Similarly, in renewal premium, LIC continued to have a higher share at 66.58% when compared to 33.42% share of private insurers. The major challenges that are faced by the insurance market are the cutthroat competition, customer relationship management, risk management, untapped market segments, relationship management, human resource management and managing the regulatory authority. And the Indian insurance market has some opportunities too. It is necessary to promote more awareness among public about insurance distribution being a key determinant of success for insurance companies, because at the more number of distribution channels, the insurers have a large database of their disposal. There is a lot of untapped market in the country. This gives space for all the players to grow and expand the insurance industry. And finally, due to heavy work and occupational stress, most of the people get diseases. Hence, there is a growing need for those people to go for different kinds of insurance. With a huge population base and a large untapped market, insurance industry is a big opportunity area in India for national as well as foreign investors. For insurance industry, it is the time for growth along with stabilization. However, along with keeping the interest of the customers at the forefront, there is a need to facilitate a favorable environment for distribution intermediaries, which can result in the exponential growth of the sector. The regulator has devised a framework for insurers to make the disclosure of financial statements, investment portfolio as well as operating ratios. These disclosures are expected to make the industry stronger as well as earn the faith of its stakeholders. IRDA is also considering the formulation of rules and regulations for a smooth transition to this new regulatory standard. The growth potential and opportunities for the Indian insurance industry is vast. In the wake of the improving global financial situation, the industry is expected to be a major contributor to the country's economic growth. By this, we come to the conclusion of this course of Fundamental of Insurance. I hope your accessing this course has resulted into useful insight and a learning of insurance and its components, one of the key financial system practiced across the globe. In case of queries, always feel free to write to me on the email ID. Thank you and all the very best.